I feel like the first half of my life was uh, just like an unimaginable struggle, you know. And
Yeah.
it's still hard, but I definitely don't want the second half to be like that. So I'm working
Yes.
hard to change that and to offer some assistance to like those like my brother and all them who looked out for me while I was in prison, the righteous
Yes.
ones.
Hi, everyone. This is Raina Carrillo with Purpose and Passion. And I want you guys to go to YouTube and type in Luxemedia. I want you to subscribe, like, and comment. It's so important to have our viewers' comments out there because then I know what I'm doing wrong or I know what I'm doing right, right? Well, today I'm excited because I finally have my homeboy in the building in the city of Inglewood at All In Co-working. So I'm just excited. So we have Joey Knockout, which they call him KO. That's what knockout mean. Joey Hernandez. He's a rapper. And I met him through Young Dopey. And automatically, when I met him, I felt like I already had a personal connection. Like, I was like, man, like if I've known him since my childhood. And so I wanted to bring KO to Purpose and Passion to also talk about his purpose and passion, but just to just recognize his talent. I call him the Latino or the Mexican Nipsey Hussle. He has this gift. I remember walking into the studio and I met him. I seen him, shook hands. He went into the studio to do your thing. Oh my gosh, I heard his voice and I'm just like, what the heck? And it blew my mind. So I want to, be that supportive friend.
Appreciate that.
Whether it's on my podcast, whether it's connecting together to do, meet and greets with the people that support you or your fans, whichever one. And so I'm just happy that you're here in the city of Inglewood on Purpose and Passion. So thank you
for having me.
Yes. I'm happy. I'm happy. So I want you to take the viewers down memory lane. Like, where are your parents from, and where were you born and raised, and how was your childhood?
My parents are from the East LA area.
Okay.
Like I grew up over there by I believe. Forgive me if I pronounce it wrong, but it's I think Obregon Park.
Okay.
So I grew up over there when I was younger, but I was kind of like back and forth from East LA area to Rosemead,
Okay.
which is another area where my parents had owned a house. So I would go like back and forth from there to my grandma's house.
Mm-hmm.
And this is when I was like really young, like 5, 4,
Yes.
But other than that, I mean, the history is kind of hazy because I spent majority of the time when I was younger in placement. So
Okay.
I was kind of like back and forth from them to placement, and then they were like in jail, disappeared for years, come back, disappeared for years. So there was a relationship, but a very small one. It was minimal,
Yeah.
But usually that's where I spent my younger years at. So it was just mostly just me and my 2 older brothers.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we have youth also watching Purpose and Passion, and what would be a message, to the youth that come from dysfunctional families or they're foster kids or they just looking for an outlet and obviously most of us that grew up in that environment, right? We join a gang or join a crew and then the crew become a gang and then we end up, you know, going through some hardship through life because of our choices. So what would you tell the youth out there like how to shift their mentality versus joining a gang and doing drugs and things of that nature?
I would suggest maybe find an outlet.
Mhm.
Music has always been a big thing for me. Sports.
Yeah.
Like I like basketball. I love basketball.
That's good to know.
What do you call it? Yeah, basketball is like real big for me. But music. But I didn't discover the music later on, like as far as creating music and writing music, not till later on down the line. But in the beginning, it was always like I need to hear music, and music would make me escape. You know what I mean? Because we would go through so much, like especially being young, and you're going through the trauma of like, why am I in this stranger's house? To where's my parents? Like, so you're gonna, and then you have influencing factors from the streets that try to reel you in, and you can like I ultimately did build a connection with the streets, and felt like my homies, that was like where I was supposed to be. You know what I mean? And I know people kind of frown upon the gang culture, because it has a lot of negativity. But at the end of the day, there's bonds you build there that you can't build anywhere else. So you might have a lot of homeboys once upon a time, but there'll be a few that stick with you through your lifetime, and that bond is something you'll never, I guess, like you can find anywhere else. You know what I mean? So it was a mixture of all those. But if you can stay away from the street, I would suggest you do. Like everybody has something they love to do, whether it's playing the piano or shooting a basketball, football, writing music. If you're interested in it, pursue it, and that'll ultimately be the distraction from all the negativity that you see in your surroundings. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like what's the word I'm looking for? It'll deviate you from. You know what I mean?
From those hardships.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Because I mean, it can weigh heavy though. It can, you know what I mean? But believe me, somebody who's been there and went through the motions, I can speak on it because I mean, look where I'm at now. I mean, I'm not where I want to be and as fast as I want to be there, but my opportunity came later. But it's because I didn't stop. Like I felt like this ain't the end. This ain't the end. So, you know what I mean? We still grinding, man. We still trying to get it, and I mean, ain't nothing gonna get in the way. If I've been through all that, I mean, you know.
Yeah, you can survive anything.
Right. So
definitely. So, you know, when I met you in the studio, like obviously you did your time, right? And you did your time in jail or prison, which one?
Both.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then you crossed over coming out free to straight the studio.
Yeah.
How did that feel?
Man, I don't know. I mean, shout out to Young Dopey and Smurf from the West Factory, because I was recording through like a cell phone for so long, and like I would listen to the homies doing their music, and I would always be like, damn, I can't wait till it's my turn. Like, I just want to, you know. And everybody was always like, man, when you get out, you all got to do all this time. You're gonna be older, and I'm like, that don't matter. Like, I'm gonna do what I want to do and what I love to do. So I used to have conversations with Dopey on the phone. As a matter of fact, when we were both incarcerated, setting up to that moment, you know. So and he had told me like, oh, when you get out, we gonna hook up, we gonna link up, this and that. And sure enough, he kept his word. And when I got out, he invited me that day. Like, you busy? And I'm like, nope, I'm never busy for the studio. We'll find time. I never miss an opportunity. And then that was the day I went and ultimately met you, and we did the first track, The Heaven for a Real.
Yes, man.
And we shot the video too. Remember?
Man, that was crazy. I was like in the studio, shoot the video. It's a done deal, and it blew me away. It blew me away because like my background is gang intervention, so I'm like the nonprofit queen. You know, anything with nonprofit, working with gang members, reentry prevention, intervention, and community stuff, right?
Yeah.
And you know, Dopey was like, I need a manager that, you know, that is trustworthy. And, you know, and so he brought me into his realm, because that realm was like, I haven't been in that kind of realm since Psycho Realm. That's how far.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I was in that realm back then, you know, with Pico Union, you know, shout out to Pico Union community. And so it was a beautiful thing, because when you see your people from your neighborhood, and like people know I'm a former gang member, but it's like you always are going to have that love for your neighborhood, period. And so to be around, you know, different people from different cliques of 18 and seeing the positive outcomes through music, through unity, through seeing other people from different communities and different hoods coming together to rap. It just shows like how music bring people together, you know? And I'm just like, wow. So I was just blown away, and I love being in the studio. I love hearing you guys. You know, it's kind of like a scientist. Like when you guys walk in there, it's like a freaking scientist. You guys are like putting things together, and then you go in that booth, mix everything. Then the guy goes into his world and mix everything the way it's supposed to be, with beats and everything. And then last but not least, you play the song. Yeah,
it's a process. I think one of my favorite parts of it is how you see the song evolve, because you walk in, like you said, and it's just a beat, And then as you gradually lay a verse or a hook or just give it a general
Yes.
idea, your song starts to take form. And you walked in with just a beat, and now you have all this. And then you still have, like you said, you have the engineer to do his thing, then to mix it and master it. And when you hear the final product, you're like, wow, like,
Yeah.
and then it also, you have vibrations in there, and
Yes.
how you interact, so it creates another type of energy.
My favorite part of one of the songs, I forgot what it is, but I hear it, I always bump you. It's like one of my favorite ones. And I had my mom in the car, and then I was like, hear this part, and he was like, I grabbed it or I got it from the mud. That part.
Oh yeah, get it out the mud. Huh?
Yeah, get it out the mud. And my mom was like, ooh, like she even felt that. Yeah. And I'm just like, man, like that, something so simple yet so powerful. Because you got to be from the streets to understand that. Like, you got to get it from the mud. Like, nothing was handed to you.
Yeah. And
it's like, that's life in general.
Yeah, that's the origin of the story. I mean, we're trying to change the narrative, but I mean, a lot of us, and I mean, a lot of people that come from the gang culture, and some of the people we do music with, they can relate,
Yeah.
We start from the ground up.
Yes.
You got to get out the mud sometimes. Nothing's given to you,
Yes.
Nothing has ever been given to me. And like I said, I told the homie, when I get out, I'm gonna go hard. And I think I've been showing that I'm a workaholic when it comes to the music. Like every time they call, like let's go, let's do this. I'll find a way there, like, you know what I mean. And in the same time, I'm still trying to get my life together, but that doesn't mean that I'm taking breaks. Like we going all definitely out. You know what I mean?
So what are your next things that you want to do? Like, you're already rapping, you've done your videos, you're going to continue being in the studio. Is there, like, do you want a clothing line, for your supporters out there and your fans? Do you want to create a website where they can purchase, things of that nature? Like for me, on the outside looking in, you're very talented, and having the opportunity to get to meet Nipsey Hussle through my boss, Big U, was such an honor, because it was so natural. It wasn't like in the studio, it was in the community. You know what I mean? Yeah. And just hearing his music, seeing how, like, he sold a freaking CD for $100, and how people were lined up for him.
And people bought it. Yeah,
man. And seeing him, work and trying to create that foundation, Nipsey Hussle Foundation, and giving back to the community on so many levels. It's like, when I hear your voice, it's like, it's so similar to Nipsey, and I'm just like, man, like, you're also separate from him because he's no longer here. And even if he was here, you're your own individual. You have your own swag, you have your own story. But just hearing that voice, because people like myself, we miss his voice.
Yeah.
You hear me? So when you have somebody active, alive, and have a similar voice, it's so powerful, because it's like, when you miss it, but you have, KO to, like, not replace him, because he's not to replace, but it's just like that sound of that music where it's just like, man, it hits hard. You're talented. You guys are two separate people, but the voice is so similar. And when you're rapping, it feels like you feel a sense of him, spiritually. But then we know it's knockout. We know it's you, and you're your own individual, and it's just like, you're dope. Like, that's all I can say. You dope. You got talent.
I appreciate that.
And it's like, I want to be able, to work with you. I told you this in the beginning.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, in the beginning, because you're so talented, and it's like, people, when you have a talent, you can't waste it. You got to jump on it while it's hot, while it's sizzling, while you're doing your thing.
I do definitely get that. When people listen to the music, I always get like, oh, Nipsey vibes, and that's cool. I mean, because coming from somebody who listens to his music and followed him while he was here, and I mean, in a sense, he's still here because his music's here, and then what he created is still around. So, that's definitely something that's cool, I mean, to hear that. I know they say my voice does sound like his, and I see how he did it, and he's self-made, and like he got out the mud too, you know.
Yes,
and then
he did.
He looked out for his community, his homeboys, and I mean, ultimately, those are my goals. I mean, not just because he did it, just because genuinely that's always been the goal to create something that can feed everybody. You know what I mean? So it's like I tell my homeboys too, like what I'm doing here can ultimately lead to jobs for everybody else. Yes, like we get successful with this, bro. I mean, you can be security, you can be the manager of the merch we're selling. Like it's just gonna create so many opportunities, and we keep it all inside. Like he said, oh, money in, no money out. You know what I mean? We can get the bag together. So I mean, that's the goal. Like I'm trying to create a merch line with the West Factory, like with Smurf. We've had conversations. I've had conversations with Young Dopey about that, about the merch. Possibly doing some podcasting. I don't know when I'll dive into that. I know we do have like rough draft sketches of maybe some merch that we might put together. But that's definitely something that I want to do. And I mean, there's other things that probably haven't came to me yet, but I don't want to stop there. You know, I know I want to use the music as like the ground, the foundation. It's ground zero, and then from there we branch out. Just branch out. You know what I mean? Or we can create something that have maybe spark interest in somebody else, and they see what we doing, and they get on their stuff and they start doing it, and they become successful, and we keep it in the team and just try to feed everybody, you know. But I think that's a lot of the reason behind the drive is I know people they have a lot of faith in what I can do. And I mean, I do too. Don't get me wrong, but it also feels good when other people do. But then I feel like I got to go harder now because it's the twice the amount, you know? Yes. So that's why I'm always in there. And then my brother's always like, hey, and I was like, I can't send you everything I did. Wait till it comes out. Yes, but like we're loaded up. Like we got a lot of music in the vault. We got stuff going on. So
Believing Before Seeing, a new bestseller by Candace Barr. Order your copy today.
So do you have your title of your what is it called, the LP or what?
Oh, the EP, like a shorter version.
You. That's an LP or like EP?
Then the LP is more of like a full length studio album. The EP is like a shorter version. I think we're gonna do about 5 to 6 tracks. It's almost done. I'm just waiting on a feature or two and for them to get in there and do their thing, and then we'll mix it down. We don't have necessarily a title yet, but it is the first one of first EP that I've ever done, because usually I just roll singles out. But in the process, we'll still continue to roll singles out.
I like Get It Out the Mud already for a title. That's just my opinion. That is just my opinion. I'm just throwing it out there too. I'm sorry, I had to, because I'm just like,
we haven't even had the conversation yet, but that does sound good. We haven't like titled it yet.
That title is powerful because you know you're coming straight out of jail, prison, and you're going straight into the studio. Like you're getting it out the mud. Like that is like the most powerful title for your first, you know what I mean? For your first album CD. You know, so that's just an example, you know, that's just an example. Just throwing it out there.
Working hard, man. That because we haven't even necessarily had that conversation. We had like conversations about cover art maybe. But as far as a title, it hasn't came up. So
well, you could put a special shout out to Raina if you choose it.
We're gonna have to sit down.
Shout out to my homegirl Raina. Get It Out the Mud.
It's almost done too, so I'm just waiting on those features, and then we'll wrap it up, mix it, and then we're gonna work on the next one. You know?
So if you decide to do that, and call it Get It Out the Mud, then you need your brand to say Get It Out the Mud. What is your purpose and what is your passion?
I think I don't know. I feel like maybe my purpose is to serve others as far as my story goes, to inspire maybe, because the circumstances surrounding the story is like you would think somebody coming from where I came from would either be strung out or doing life. And ultimately, I mean, I did go to prison. I made mistakes. I'm still learning, but I'm getting better, you know? And I got a second chance. And I mean, the work shows that I'm utilizing those opportunities, you know, to further myself. And the passion is, I mean, it's one and the same. I think it has to do that, and then also creating the sound, the music. It's like even where we're not where we want to be at yet.
Yes.
It's like I look forward to every moment of doing music. Like it does not matter. Like we can go in there and I could just sit in there all day. And even like the engineers, I talk to them all the time, and they're like, "Man, I wish I could just sit in here all day with you." And I would come out with albums like we would not stop. You couldn't kick me out fast enough, you know.
Yeah, just put a bedroom there.
Yeah, you know,
Your own
give me a little bed right there
to the side, so when you want to go to sleep, you can knock out and then part two.
Yeah, that's it. But I mean, yeah, I'm trying to. I feel like the first half of my life was just like an unimaginable struggle, you know, and it's still hard, but I definitely don't want the second half to be that way. So I'm working hard to change that and to offer some assistance to like those, like my brother and all them who looked out for me while I was in prison, the righteous ones, you know what I mean? And then maybe there's a lot of things I want to do, a lot of things. It's just, I mean, we can't do them until the money's right, you know?
Yeah.
But I mean, I definitely have a lot of ideas that are pertaining to like the community and like I said, people that have similar backgrounds.
Mm-hmm.
It's just we got to get to that point where we can do that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the goal. So
yeah, the structure is not easy, but it's not hard. You know what I mean? Like when, like you say, you have your music and then you have your ideas. All of it will fall into place.
Yeah.
All of it will fall into place. That's why focusing on branding.
Yeah.
Like branding, having outlets to do what are those kind of like not newsletters, but something like that, like on social media when they, you know, give you like the opportunity to share who you are, your love for music and things of that nature for promotion purposes, you know. There's a word I want to use, but I can't think of it right now. But I think that's also important for people that are in music in the industry, rappers, singers, things like that, you know. So that's key. And I'm really excited, you know, for you because I can see your future and it's bright, it's amazing. And, you know, you have your talent, you know. And so I was, you know, talking to my boy Nick in the background.
Yeah.
Like, you know, I want to show like a clip, you know, just a quick clip of you on YouTube because you have this gift and it's so powerful.
Slide like this. Do the E-walk, I do mine like this. 2 steps, slide like this. Do the E-walk, I do mine like this.
Look, I was turning down nothing, put them hands on them. Apex predator who wet them up like jaws on them. We off the block, flag hanging off the khaki suit. Low rider swinging, sipping Alizé passion fruit. Extended mag with the 40, got some screws loose. Pull up to your block, taking aim like we shooting hoops. Ghetto fabulous, so wood stuff for cannabis. Like chubby rap cat causing damage, can you handle this? The flow hottest, out here spraying, yeah, it's cancerous. Torching with a heater, we on fire like a candle lit. Now get a grip, out here drinking on the Henny Fifth. I been nutty, peanut butter like a jar of Tiff. Blue chucks, big bucks, blue strips in the set, giving 0 fucks. Big clips, these guns bust. Hernandez Street, I had to get it out the mud. What?
When I bust, I unload the whole clip. Tripping on the op, we gonna get into some gangster shit. Ask my enemies every time I don't miss. Dead body on the floor, skirt out in a stolen whip. Blue Chuck Taylors hanging from the wild. I'm an active felon with a gang of pride. Blue Chuck Taylors hanging from the wild. I'm a ghetto vet, him, he a Oscar Wilde. Roll up, jump out, oh yeah, there he go. They know who I am, so automatically they dive to the flow. Have you ever been in the middle of a shootout? Conserving bullets, taking cover beside an abandoned house. Then I had no business like Call of Duty. Now we dropping slow motion like Jody in that Baby Boy movie. Never fold under pressure, never break it down. Lit up shots from my bros at my side of town. The Hundreds, Inglewood to be exact. Had to be one of the pioneers to put the hood on the map. The 6 block, Now we worldwide, started gang banging, now we a company with a suit and tie. But we still rep the culture, tell our story from rags to riches. It's real, so homie, pay attention. Navy blue laces on all the shoes I wear. W tatted on my head, cause I don't care. When I bust, I unload the whole clip, tripping on the op. We gonna get into some gangster shit. Ask my enemies, every time I don't miss. Dead body on the floor, skirt out in a stolen whip. Blue Chuck Taylors hanging from the wild. I'm an active felon with a gang of pride. Blue Chuck Taylors hanging from the wild. I'm a ghetto vet, him, he a Oscar Wilde.
You know what's crazy though with the music is like I'm more of like a person who's always working on music, but the problem with me is that like I write music and I write consistently, so I never remember anything that I do.
Yeah, which makes
You know
sense.
what I mean?
Which
Yeah.
makes sense. Yeah, which makes sense.
Like even when we do the videos and they're like, you gotta lip sync, I'm like, hold on, let me hear the song real quick.
Yeah,
And
so
I
I
don't
can
always
hit it.
remember it. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Because I feel like I'm more of a I like to sit in there and create an energy and vibe around it,
Yes.
as opposed to like the quick freestyle is not really been my thing.
Yeah.
I feel like the vibration of creating is something more unique. I don't know if that makes sense. You know what I mean? But I usually have problems doing that, like remembering everything I put down, or I go one for one to the next, to the next, to the next, to the next. I feel like because I'm so behind. I gotta catch up.
Yeah.
Everybody got more music than me. So.
Do you feel excuse me, do you feel like what's that word, like manifestation? Like, do you think like you were manifestation, like manifesting like what's happening now? Were you doing that back then? You know what I mean? Like when you were locked up, did you envision this? Did you see yourself in the studios? Like, I'm just curious.
I did. I mean, like I said, the picture was kind of hazy, but
Yeah.
this is when I was busted. I mean, because I did it a little bit before I got busted, but it was something I was never too serious about.
Yes.
But while I was busted and I got sat down for that time, I used to continuously work on it. And then I would see everybody doing it on the phone, you know, because I had phones. So
Yes.
I would be like, damn, I want to do that. And I would talk to the homies, and I remember talking to like the homie Buckwheat, right?
Yes.
And he was like, look, we got a studio like this. And he showed me the studio. And then I was like, oh yeah, for sure. Like, I need to be there. I need to be there. And I remember telling him, I was nervous about doing it. And he's like, nah, he's like, if this is what you want, you'll be ready for it when the time comes, you know? So like when we did the first session that one time, I was seeing everybody and I'm like, well, I'm in here with artists who've been doing this.
Yeah.
And I was nervous, but I was just like, you know what? Forget it. Let's just go. Boom, go, you know? And once the wheels start turning, there's no slowing down, you know?
Yeah,
so
that was it. Game over.
Yeah, that was the first one. I was nervous in there. I was trying not to show it, but yeah, once we started going, it was like, you know what I mean?
I want to give a shout out to TWS, the studios, right? And I want you to like sell a dream just as an artist. Like, why should people go there to that specific location to do their music? Like, what captures you when you walk in through that door? You know, like, I want you to sell the dream to those individuals that want to say, well, you know, I'm looking for a studio, you know, like, why TWS?
I think probably, for one, the engineers that we work with, they're really good. They're great, you know. Like I worked with shout out Zay, Rare, and Gallo. I worked with them. One thing as an artist that I like that I get from them is when I go there and we're recording, they'll offer me their input, and I like that because I'm an open book. I mean, as far as me, I don't take nothing as criticism like that. I take it as constructive criticism. And obviously you're working with multiple artists consistently doing what you're doing, so you know more than me. And you're willing to offer information to me. I appreciate that. You know what I mean? So I like that from them. And everybody's professional, you know, especially if they notice when you watch my story, when I go there, the first thing I post is the wrecking spot logo, you know? And the big blue. It's an eye catcher, you know?
Yes.
So I post it and I see it, and that's the first thing I take a picture of every time. So and then it's just, I don't know. I like all the rooms are cool. The equipment is professional.
Yeah.
The vibe in the
It
room
is a
is
vibe.
cool. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
like
the
it's a whole
building is a
vibe.
vibe itself.
It's a whole
It's
vibe.
crazy.
Yeah, and then you have like different settings in different rooms.
You're like, you want
depending on the
Scarface
mood.
room? Like,
Yeah,
what? I'm like,
yeah.
man.
So it's like, man, you know, and like I said, everybody there has been nothing but respectful towards me and very professional. And I've asked for advice and they didn't hesitate to give it. You know, like don't trip, like this and that, and they know where I'm coming from, and I know they don't have to, but there's never nothing where they're like, oh, I can't. It's like, nah, don't trip, bro. Like this and that. So that is very much appreciated. You know,
I like the fact that when you walk in, they have snacks.
Oh yeah, but they don't have that no more. You gotta go to the vending machine now.
Oh, they got a vending machine?
Yeah, vending machine now. Yeah.
Somebody took my idea because I wanted to purchase a vending machine and go over there and tell them, hey, let me put my vending machine here.
They got in the back now, vending machine. Yeah, snacks not for that no more. But and
then also like when you walk through the hallway, the art.
Oh yeah, and then like I always do they have Pac on there. Yeah. They have Nip on there. DMX. So they have like legendary people on the wall. You know what I mean? And I think it's kind of like a nod to like, you could be there. Like this could be you. Because I mean, these are icons in music, you know? So, I mean, if you push hard enough, I mean, there'll only be one of them, but there'll only be one of you. It just depends on how you want your story to end. And if you push hard enough, maybe you get your picture on the wall like that, you know?
I agree. I agree. But that's
it's motivation, you know?
Yeah, it is motivation. And I love the way it looks. Love the way it looks.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
So, and last but not least, how can our viewers find you on social media?
I think on social media, I have you can find me under _Yako18 _. And if you're looking for the music, streaming services is Yako18, and the YouTube channel is Yako18.ko. And I also have music on the West Factory channel. You can go look there. We have music videos dropping. I have multiple songs and features also on Young Dopey's channel. You can go check those out. And we have an EP on the way and a full album on the way.
Yeah, I'm excited about that.
Yeah.
Is there anything you want to say to your supporters and fans out there?
Yes, I mean, for the ones that have been listening and the new listeners, but the ones that have been there, because I've had listeners that while I was doing my prison term that would be in the comments and would be like, keep going. Like, you got this. When you get out, it's you. Like, and that's motivating in itself, because it's hard when you do music and you feel like people aren't listening. But then you have those that give you comments like that, you know, and it's like, okay, well, there are people listening. Just you building your audience, you know, and people used to be like, man, bro, when you get out, you need to do a song with this person, that person. And I would be like, look, when I get there, it's going to happen. And sure enough, little by little, I'm getting my features and doing music with the homies that they asked me to do music with. And people, they're starting to leave comments like, I see you, like, you're doing your thing, you on your way. And I get people that leave me comments now that are like, hey, I just seen you, kid. Next time I see you, could I take a picture with you? And I've gotten that, and I'm like,
that's beautiful, because that's love. Yeah, that's love.
I've gotten stuff like that.
You gotta be a hater to be like, I'm not even a rapper, okay? I rap for mayor of Inglewood, and I'm on Catalina Island. Like, looks like nobody would know me there. And all of a sudden, I'm walking by, and then this guy was like, he was wearing a mask, so that's why I was like, what? And he was like, what's up, mayor of Inglewood? And I'm like, let's take a picture. And I'm like, what the heck? Okay.
Taking notice. Yeah.
Like, so I could just imagine just me on a community level, you know, and then you on the industry level of having those supporters. It's like, that's nothing but love.
It's a good feeling. And I try to tell them like it's an honor. It's not so much, I mean, you're like, it's an honor to take a picture of you, but
because you're humble.
I feel the same way. Like, bro, like, you wanting to take a picture with me, it means a lot, and it goes a long way. And I'm like, yeah, man, like, pull up, like, come on, I don't care, like, come on, let's do it. And I'm not too big on like doing pictures.
Yeah.
But for them, it's never a problem. I've had people recognize me, and it's still like, you know, but it's definitely something new. And it's
so before we close out, I have one last question. Why do you love music? Whether it's rapping, whether it's the lyrics, why do you love music? And I want you to look at that camera too.
Well, for me, being in the studio, music is like it's therapy. It's a way for me to decompress. Like if I'm going through stuff and like I'm in the studio, I usually channel that into the music, and then when I get out of there, it's like weight has been lifted off my shoulders because I go through a lot that I don't speak about.
Yes.
What do you call it? But that gets channeled through the music. So I mean, you can, if you listen like to the words, sometimes I'll say stuff and you can probably be like, okay, well, he probably going through something.
Yeah, like that's a therapy session.
Yeah, like because I have a lot of other music that I have out that is like, I was playing something yesterday from my brother, and he's like, I don't like that kind of music because I usually skip it. I'm like, yeah, it's because it's music for a mood. Yeah, you know what I mean, that I go through, and I usually have to channel that out. Because if not, I usually it overwhelms me.
Yeah, it suppresses.
Yeah, you know what I mean.
You gotta release it.
Yeah, and it's the that, and as well as the camaraderie and the vibe that I get from the fellas when I'm in there with them, the brotherhood.
Yes.
The moments that we have in there, like that,
are priceless, man.
The goofy moments, that you would be like, damn, these guys got tattoos all over their head, and this, and
they're like, who raised cuz?
Yeah, we're like, who raised cuz? We're just like, like that is like, those are some of my favorite moments, you know. Like,
and I learned a new one, Beluga.
I haven't heard that one yet.
Oh my God, I gotta tell you the story after this segment. Well, thank you so much. KO for Gracie Purpose and Passion.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you again. Until next time.
Yeah, we'll be here.